Hello from UnitedWeStandPeople.com, where our goal is to empower the people using knowledge. Keep in mind, knowledge is power, and the power is in the people. Here's another quick report from our public investigation team, where all participating investigators are people just like you. This report is part of an ongoing public investigation into how the banks are pulling the wool over many Canadian borrowers by collecting on debts the banks no longer own. The banks accomplish this by carefully indoctrinating their employees, collectors, and lawyers into a train of thought that misrepresents many of the facts pertaining to the Canadian bank loans. That's right, the banks are selling your debt and not telling you. This seems to be the bank's best kept secret. And we, the Canadian people, are about to blow the top off this serious injustice. We are excited to share this episode of UnitedWeStandPeople.com Canadian Public Investigation. It illustrates how collectors do not have the proper documentation to legally and lawfully collect on your debt. This episode involves Kim Pottinger and Mrs. Robinson of DNA Group collectors attempting to bully the Canadian public into paying a debt to Walmart Mastercard without having verifiable proof Walmart Mastercard still is in fact the rightful owner of the debt. To start, let's listen to the following recordings where they admit they are well aware debts are bought and sold as a common business practice within the financial industry.
So you are DNA Group, you're the collection company?
Yes.
For Walmart?
Yes, sir.
So first off, are you aware that debts are bought and sold?
I'm very familiar with that.
Okay, now that was Mrs. Robinson. Now let's see what Kim has to say.
In the financial industry, that institutions buy and sell debt on the world market all the time. And all
You're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct.
Right.
Therefore, what you're accusing us of doing is breaking the law.
Well, you've heard it with your own ears. Kim Pottinger and Mrs. Robinson of DNA Group both admit they are well aware debts are bought and sold as a daily practice within the financial industry. Considering they just admitted they are well aware debts can be bought and sold, then it should become very obvious to them why it is crucial for the Canadian public to ask for proof of ownership of the debt when paying out a debt. Simply put, the creditor Walmart Mastercard could have sold the debt. If they did sell the debt, and then the Canadian public also pays them for debt they no longer own, then Walmart Mastercard would have just been paid twice. Here is another recording of Kim Pottinger and Mrs. Robinson of DNA Group admitting that they never get verifiable proof their clients are still in fact the rightful owners of the debt, and admittedly just takes the creditor's word that they still own it.
If I could ask, for DNA Group, what kind of confirmation do you get from your clients that they themselves haven't sold the debt? So in this case for Walmart Mastercard, what type of proof do you get from them that they haven't sold the debt? Or do you just take their word for it?
We know that it's because it's Walmart Rewards Mastercard. We work on their behalf.
So do you get any type of, all right, but do you get any type of confirmation from them, any type of paperwork to show that indeed they haven't sold the debt, that they still maintain it, or you just take their word for it?
We don't, exactly. We take our client's word.
Oh,
why would we not trust our client's word? If they're forwarding us the files, why would we not take their word?
Okay, well that was Mrs. Robinson. Now let's hear what Kim Pottinger has to say.
And that's legal. You have to, it's a given thing, understanding that your clients are doing things legally. So all clients that assign debts here, it is their debt to assign. So we don't have to ask documentation to say that this is your debt to assign. The fact that they've assigned it here, it's their debt to legally assign.
Well, that was quite a ridiculous response from Mrs. Kim Pottinger. What she just said is legal proof is that it's because her office received a file, and that's verifiable proof that they still own the debt. That's ridiculous. The only entity that has access to the information to make that claim if one of these big corporations still own a debt is a chartered accountant with a sworn affidavit stating that the debts have not been sold and it still appears on their ledgers. You've heard it with your own ears. Collector Mrs. Robinson, together with DNA Group Collections, have no verifiable proof that Walmart Mastercard is in fact the rightful owner of the debt. This is very unprofessional and irresponsible, considering Mrs. Robinson and Kim Pottinger of DNA Group admitted that they are well aware debts are bought and sold as a common business practice in the financial industry. Now keep in mind, if Walmart Mastercard sold the debt, that's fine. They just need to tell the Canadian public who they sold the debt to so we can complete the transaction with the rightful owner of the debt. Kim Pottinger and Mrs. Robinson of DNA Group somehow is not grasping this common sense concept. So let's break it down for them with a simple example that illustrates this common sense concept. The Canadian borrower signs a loan contract in January. The creditor sells the debt without informing the Canadian borrower in April. December, the creditor sends the file to a third-party collector. This example illustrates that at the time DNA Group created the original collections file with the creditor, Walmart Mastercard, would no longer have owned the debt due to the fact they sold it. This is why it is so important for collectors to be asking their clients, the Canadian creditors, for verifiable proof they are in fact still the rightful owners of the debt before they start the collection process. If the collector does not receive verifiable proof of ownership from their client, they could be collecting on debts their clients no longer own. This would make them an accomplice to misrepresentation of the facts leading to fraud. Attempting to collect on debts you do not own is against Canadian law. Well, that was another quick report from our public investigation team, where all participating investigators are people just like you. Make sure to get involved. Sign up now at unitedwestandpeople.com. Knowledge without action is useless. Be part of the solution. All bullies will back down when they know many others are watching. So don't forget to like this video and share with your friends and subscribe.